You ever look at something you built with your own damn hands and think, this might be total bullshit? That was me, staring at the security reports from my own goddamn bank. Millions spent on high-tech systems, motion sensors, cameras, biometric locks, you name it. The whole place was supposed to be an impenetrable fortress. But see, I know a thing or two about fancy security. It always looks airtight until the right bastard finds a crack. I'm Henry Randolph, 52, billionaire, CEO, and the guy who was about to do the dumbest yet most necessary thing in his career. I was going to rob my own damn bank. Yeah. You heard me. I didn't trust those quarterly reports that said everything was running smooth as butter. Butter melts real damn fast when things heat up, and I wasn't about to let some punk with a crowbar be the first to figure that out. So I decided to test my own system, but not in some controlled corporate experiment with consultants and PowerPoints. No. I was going full undercover heist mode. Step 1. Look like a loser. If you want to test security, you can't walk in looking like you own the place. You gotta look like a guy who hasn't owned much of anything in a long time. So I ditched the $1,000 suit, ruffled my hair, and threw on a ratty old jacket that smelled like mothballs and regret. Topped it off with a beat-up baseball cap, scuffed-up boots, and a fake beard from a costume shop. One glance in the mirror, and I looked like the kind of guy who's about 2 bad decisions away from sleeping in his car. Perfect. Next, I needed a story. Banks don't just hand out access to safety deposit boxes without a damn good reason. So here's the plan. I tell them I lost my key, act all flustered, maybe throw in a little, "Oh Lord, my life is in shambles" energy, and get them to let me in. The system has a backup for idiots like me who misplace things. If you give the right passcode, they override the lock. Since I literally owned the bank, I had access to a handful of backup passcodes. I memorized one. Step 2. Walk the walk. I picked one of our busiest branches downtown. It's always packed with business folks, soccer moms, and retirees cashing checks. The security here should be at its sharpest. If I can pull this off in this bank, then Houston, we have a serious goddamn problem. I stroll in, shoulders hunched, eyes darting, selling the image of a guy who does not have his shit together. First hurdle, the front desk. The guy working today is Michael Brooks, black dude, late 30s, clean-cut, professional but friendly. The kind of guy who's probably a saint outside of work but has that customer service smile that says he's one asshole away from quitting today. "Good afternoon, sir. What can I do for you?" "All right, showtime." I slap on my most desperate look and fumble through my pockets. Listen, this is real bad. I lost my key to my deposit box. It's got some really important documents inside. My whole life is in there, I swear to God." Michael doesn't flinch. He's heard worse sob stories. "Well, we do have protocols for that, sir. Do you have any form of ID?" "ID? Oh yeah, let me just hand over my real billionaire driver's license and blow my cover." "Yeah, no." I shake my head, voice cracking a little. "No, I don't, not on me. I swear I can prove it's my box. There's a passcode in your system, right? I know mine." That part makes him hesitate. Banks have backup passcodes for situations exactly like this, but it's not normal for a random customer to even know that. I see it in his eyes. He's thinking. "All right," he says slowly. "What's the passcode?" I swallow, keeping my hands from shaking, and say the word. "Phoenix." Michael blinks, checks his monitor, and... That's correct. Bingo. "Okay," he says, nodding. "Well, follow me." Holy shit, this is actually working. Step 3. The inside job. We head through a side door past a few security cameras, which I note don't have anyone actually watching them live, and down a long, cold corridor to the vault. Thick steel doors, electronic locks, the works. This is supposed to be Fort Knox level. Michael swipes his access card, taps in a code, and the door hisses open. Inside, rows and rows of safety deposit boxes. Michael gestures to one. "Here's yours, you can open it now." I pull out the fake key I had made, an old copy from a previous version of the vault design. If they had updated security recently, this wouldn't work. If they hadn't, click. It worked. I open the box, and there it is. Stacks of crisp $100 bills. I swallow hard. Even though this is technically my money, my bank, my whole operation, there's still this weird rush. I feel my pulse in my ears. Now the big test. I scoop up the cash, shove it into my jacket, and nothing. No alarm, no security rushing in. I could walk right out of here with a bag full of cash and nobody would know until someone noticed an empty box. Are you fucking kidding me? I start heading back toward the exit, my mind racing. The system should have flagged something. A notification, a silent alarm, anything. But no. I was about to walk out of my own damn bank with a handful of its money, no questions asked. But then, a voice behind me. Where the hell do you think you're going? I freeze. Slowly, I turn around. It's her. A black woman, maybe early 40s, in a sharp security uniform. She wasn't there when I walked in. I hadn't even noticed her. And judging by the way she's looking at me, arms crossed, eyebrows raised, I just fucked up. Before I can even try to bullshit my way out, she moves, fast. Next thing I know, I'm face down on the cold-ass vault floor with my arm twisted behind my back. What the hell? I yell. Shut up, she snaps. You're not going anywhere, sweetheart. And then she pulls out her phone. Yeah, I got a thief in the vault. Call the cops. Oh, shit. This was not part of the plan. Lesson number 1. Don't underestimate a woman who knows how to break your arm. You ever have one of those moments where you realize you fucked up so bad there's no getting out of it? That was me. Face down on the cold-ass vault floor, arm twisted behind my back, a handful of my own damn money stuffed inside my jacket, and some woman built like she could flip a car pinning me down like I was a damn rookie. This was not the plan. Move and I'll make sure your shoulder never works right again, she growled, tightening her grip. Now, I'm not a small guy. 6'2", solid build. I've shaken hands with politicians and squeezed hard enough to make them question their life choices. But this woman? She had the grip strength of a damn boa constrictor. I twisted my head enough to get a look at her badge. M. Carter, security. M. Carter? Never heard of her, which was weird considering I own this bank and personally approve most senior hires. But right now, the only thing I cared about was that she was on the phone. And that meant... Yeah, I got a suspect in the vault, she said, her voice sharp as a blade. Caucasian male, mid-50s, scruffy, dressed like he just lost his last dollar in a bad poker game. Son of a... I struggled under her grip, but she wasn't budging. I can explain, I grunted, my cheek mashed against the cold tile. This isn't what you think. Really? She said, unimpressed. Because what I think is that I just caught a dumbass trying to rob this bank. And my job description says I get to make that real painful for you if you don't sit your ass still. Jesus Christ. I forced myself to stay calm. First rule of business, never lose control of the room. Right now, that meant convincing this woman that I wasn't some two-bit criminal about to spend the night in county lockup. Listen, I said, voice level, I'm Henry Randolph. Uh-huh, she said flatly, clearly not impressed. No, seriously, I pushed. The Henry Randolph, I own this bank. There was a long silence, then she laughed. Not a nervous laugh, not even an I don't believe you chuckle. This was a full-on, deep-bellied, this idiot really thinks I'm buying this laugh. Oh man, she said, wiping an imaginary tear from her eye, but that's a new one. First it's I was framed, then it's I work here, but I own this bank? That's some premium bullshit. I clenched my teeth. This was getting very bad. Look, I said, forcing patience I didn't have. I can prove it. Call Michael Brooks. Michael's the one who called me, she interrupted. You remember Michael, right? The guy you scammed into letting you into the vault? I sighed. I didn't scam him. Right. You just conveniently knew the exact passcode to a deposit box that ain't yours? Okay, fair point. Before I could say another word, footsteps thundered down the hall. I craned my neck just in time to see Michael skidding into view, face pale, eyes darting between me and Carter, like he'd just walked in on some goddamn hostage situation. Carter, wait, he panted. That's not... She didn't let go. Not what, Michael? She snapped. Not a thief? Not a guy caught with stolen money in his jacket? Because from where I'm standing, this is looking pretty damn open and shut. Michael ran a hand through his short-cropped hair, clearly trying to not have a heart attack. That's Henry Randolph, he finally said, voice strained. Our CEO. Silence. Carter blinked. Once. Twice. Then she turned her head, very slowly, to look at me. You're shitting me. I managed the best smug look I could, considering I was still half pinned to the floor. Wish I was, sweetheart. Carter didn't move right away. I could see the gears turning in her head, recalibrating the entire situation. Then finally, she released my arm. You have got to be kidding me, she muttered, pushing herself up. I groaned, rubbing my shoulder, now feeling exactly as old as I was. Jesus, did she train with the goddamn Marines? Michael still looked like he wanted to pass out. Sir, I am so sorry, he rushed out. I had no idea. I held up a hand. Don't, just don't. Carter crossed her arms, still glaring at me like I owed her an hour of her life back. Okay, CEO, she said, voice dripping with sarcasm. Mind telling me what the hell you were doing robbing your own damn bank? I exhaled sharply. I was testing the system. More silence. You were what? You heard me, I said, pushing myself to my feet. I wanted to see how secure my banks actually are. So I disguised myself, walked in, and tried to rob the place. And guess what? I succeeded. Michael flinched. Carter just stared at me like I'd grown a second head. Let me get this straight, she said slowly. You, a billionaire, spent your afternoon dressing up like a homeless man, bullshitting your way into your own vault, stealing your own money, and expected everything to go smoothly. I shrugged. I expected the damn security system to stop me before I even got that far. Carter's expression didn't change. Then she burst out laughing. Oh, you're serious, she wheezed after a moment. Jesus Christ. Rich people really do get bored, huh? Michael visibly wanted to die. Ma'am, please, he whispered, clearly begging for someone, anyone, to make this nightmare end. But Carter was not done roasting me. So tell me, Mr. CEO, she said, taking a step closer. Did it ever occur to you that maybe instead of running a half-assed Mission Impossible stunt, you could have just, I don't know, paid some actual security experts to test your system? I exhaled through my nose. Wouldn't have been as fun. She rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd pop out of her skull. Michael, to his credit, looked like he was actively calculating how much severance pay he'd need if he quit today. I straightened my jacket, already feeling a bruise forming on my ribs. Look, I said, you caught me, and that's a hell of a lot more than my $1 million security system did. So what's your name? Carter narrowed her eyes. M. Carter. First name? Why? I smiled. Because, Carter, I'm about to offer you a damn promotion. Lesson number 2. If you're going to break the rules, at least do it right. I've closed billion-dollar deals over lunch, out-negotiated sharks in boardrooms, and built a banking empire from scratch. But at that exact moment, standing in a dimly lit bank vault, rubbing my shoulder where Carter had just tried to rip my arm out of its socket, I had one single crystal-clear realization. I had never been manhandled like that in my entire goddamn life. Carter stood there, arms crossed, staring at me like she was actively debating whether or not to slap me upside the head. Michael was shifting uncomfortably next to me, probably praying to every god he could think of that I wouldn't fire him on the spot. So, Carter said, breaking the silence, let me get this straight one more time. You, Mr. Billionaire CEO, thought it'd be a genius idea to waltz into your own bank, disguised as a broke-ass deadbeat, and try to rob yourself? And this was your plan to, what, stress test the security? I sighed. That about sums it up. She blinked. Once, twice. Then she muttered, Rich people are out of their damn minds. Michael visibly winced. I crossed my arms. Well, if I'm crazy, what does that make you? Because last I checked, you're the only one in this entire damn building who actually did their job today. Carter didn't move. Didn't even blink. That's supposed to be a compliment? That's supposed to be an offer, I said. I need someone who actually knows how to catch a thief when they see one, because clearly my multi-million-dollar security system can't do it. Michael made a noise like he was choking on air. Carter narrowed her eyes. Wait, hold up, you're offering me a job? More like a promotion, I corrected. Unless you'd rather keep babysitting a security team that can't even stop a guy in a fake beard and a thrift store jacket from walking off with a bag full of cash. She stared at me, and for the first time since she tackled me to the ground, I saw the gears turning. You're serious, she said. Dead serious. Carter folded her arms, shifting her weight to one side. And what exactly do you expect me to do? Fix it, I said simply. Every flaw, every loophole, every weak-ass system that let me get as far as I did. I want you to break this place apart and put it back together so no one, not me, not some 2-bit con man, not a goddamn ghost, can rob me again. Michael, bless his overworked soul, looked like he wanted to crawl into a hole and never come out. Carter tilted her head, considering. So let me get this straight. You want to hire me after I just threw your ass on the floor because I was the only one who saw through your dumb little stunt? Exactly. She exhaled sharply, glancing at Michael. Is he always like this? Michael gave her a tight, pained smile. You have no idea. Carter turned back to me, staring me down like she was still trying to decide if I was actually insane. You must be real desperate if you're offering the job to the one person in this bank who literally just assaulted you. Desperate? I echoed. No, just smart. I don't hire people who tell me what I want to hear. I hire people who actually know what the hell they're doing. And you? You knew exactly what to do the second you saw me. Carter didn't answer right away. Instead, she turned and slowly looked around the vault. The high-tech locks, the cameras that had failed to trigger a single goddamn alarm, the deposit boxes sitting wide open, and shook her head. This whole system's a joke, she muttered. I smirked. Then fix it. Another pause, then finally she exhaled through her nose, shaking her head like she couldn't believe the words coming out of her own mouth. You know what? Fine, but let's get one thing straight, Randolph. If I'm going to do this, I'm doing it my way. No corporate bullshit, no clueless consultants, no we'll fix it later excuses. If you want real security, I'm gutting this place from the inside out and building it from scratch. Michael made a strangled noise. Sir, that's going to cost... Whatever it costs, I interrupted, keeping my eyes locked on Carter. Just get it done. Carter studied me for a long moment. Then finally, she nodded once. All right then, CEO, she said. You got yourself a deal. And just like that, my worst mistake turned into the best damn hire I ever made. ChatGPT, Skazel. Lesson number 3. Sometimes you gotta break it to fix it. 2 weeks later, I walked into my own damn bank and barely recognized it. Carter hadn't just fixed security, she torched the whole system and built a new one from the ground up. Every lazy-ass guard? Gone. Every weak-ass protocol? Rewritten. Cameras? Now monitored 24/7, not by some half-asleep rent-a-cop, but by an actual security team trained to spot a scam before it even starts. And the best part? No more loopholes. That stunt I pulled? Wouldn't work in a million years now. Carter was standing by the monitors, arms crossed, watching a new recruit struggle with the biometric access panel. Try it again, she said, voice sharp. The poor guy fumbled, sweating bullets. She sighed. If someone sticks a gun in your face, you think they'll give you 3 tries? You get it right the first time. Now do it again. I smirked. Yeah, she was the right call. She turned, noticing me. Well, if it isn't the man who almost got arrested for robbing himself, she said. I shrugged. Had to make sure you were worth hiring, she scoffed, shaking her head. You're lucky I didn't break your arm. Trust me, I felt it, I muttered, rubbing my shoulder. Then I nodded at the screens. So, we're unbreakable now? She gave me a look. Nobody's unbreakable, but now we're damn close. I smiled. Good. Then I've got one last change to make. Her brow lifted. What now? I pulled a new badge from my pocket and handed it to her. Congratulations, Carter. You're not just head of security for this branch. You're running security for every single one of my banks. She stared at the badge, then at me, expression unreadable. You serious? Dead serious. For the first time since I met her, Carter looked genuinely surprised, but only for a second. Then she smirked, sliding the badge into her pocket. Guess I better make sure you never pull that dumbass stunt again, huh? I laughed. That's exactly why I hired you. And just like that, my biggest mistake turned into the best damn decision I ever made.